Funding for DNews has been provided by the Cal and Lucille Rudman Institute for Entertainment Industry Studies.
Coming up, butterflies flutter and students go with the flow on this episode of DNews.
Hello, and welcome to this best of edition of DNews. We begin with a look at a Drexel class where something unusual is brewing.
On Thursday nights, in the Academic Bistro, you can find Professor Lynn Hoffman teaching everything there is to know about beer.
The theme for today's discussion is color is a liar. Here's how that happens. Let's say color has nothing to do with the taste of beer. Very little.
Professor Hoffman says beer is a big deal these days.
Well, I started the class because I love beer. But the need for the class is that beer is a bigger part of the hospitality business every year, and it is no longer enough to know the names of 3 major brands. It's a very complex and entertaining kind of field. And there are people, as you could probably see from the class, there are people who are passionate about it.
The course was open to the public and drew a diverse crowd, including industry professionals.
I'm actually a sales representative for Finch's Beer Company out of Chicago, and I was just looking to broaden my horizons a little bit. Never hurts to have more knowledge on my profession. Drexel students jumped at the opportunity too.
Well, it's my last year at Drexel, so I wanted to take something fun. I tried to take it last year, but I couldn't get into it. So I just, I like beer, but I don't really know anything about it, so I wanted to learn more.
Lynn Hoffman loves speaking about beer. His love of drinking it reached new heights after a recent health crisis.
A couple of years ago, I was diagnosed with throat cancer. I lost my ability to drink wine because your mouth is devastated by the radiation. The tannins in wine are kind of abusive. And in fact, I lost my ability for about a year to taste anything. And when that ability came back, I still couldn't drink wine. So beer is now the locus of all of my deliciousness. If I'm looking for something to drink with dinner, it's almost always beer.
This class is unlike any other at Drexel.
This bouquet, this is more complicated than anything we've smelled all night. It has more going on than all of them put together. What are those aromas?
Finally, we asked what beer Professor Hoffman would drink if he could only drink one beer for the rest of his life.
I'd shoot myself. If I could drink one beer for the rest of my life, I'd shoot myself.
For DNews, I'm Matt Yondell.
A recent Drexel grad has joined the ranks of food truck operators on the north side of campus, with a menu filled with comfort and calories.
Former Drexel fashion and design major Marty Lieberman thought she had her whole life figured out.
Before I opened Mac Mart, I went to Drexel and I graduated in 2011, I think. I'm still waiting for my diploma. But I then went to work I got a job immediately after graduating at Saks Fifth Avenue, which was kind of like my dream job. I was supposed to be a buyer there, but instead I was just a sales rep on the floor.
But when her job didn't live up to the hype, what's a Philly fashionista to do? How about creating the Mac Mart Food Cart, Philadelphia's first and only mac and cheese food truck? Her inspiration came long before she left Drexel.
It was something that I had actually made for all my friends and family at my college grad party, and I had never made it prior, but like everyone really liked the recipe that I had come up with. And when I was going to go into business for myself and wanted to be my own boss, I wanted to do a concept that hadn't been done in Philadelphia. I didn't want to do another sandwich truck, another taco truck, something that had been done. So I figured, who doesn't like mac and cheese with fat kid toppings or something?
Now, Mac Mart's gooey creations have become popular, and the cart has appeared on several top food truck lists. But getting started wasn't easy.
A lot of banks won't want to give some college student a bunch of money for a truck, but it's more so learning everything without someone teaching you. I mean, I'm still learning today, so it's more so kind of getting the hang of things and getting situated with your day-to-day.
And those day-to-days can be long.
Make sure that you're passionate about it, because I work about a minimum of 12-hour day sometimes, 13 hours during food festivals is a 17-hour day. And even though it's hard work and it's tiring, it's really worth it. But if you weren't passionate about it, it would kill you. You would hate it.
But it would be hard to hate some of Mac Mart's decadent dishes, like the Cowboy Cup and the Barbecue Bacon Bowl. People love this stuff.
It's really nice when people will invite us to cater their weddings or their child's first birthday. I mean, really big life events, or just the posts that people write on Facebook and Twitter, and people schedule their day around finding us. And I think it's really nice to get the feedback from people that, you know, we make their day a little bit better.
So what's down the road for this fine food cart?
I'd like to somehow free ship my stuff around the country, maybe do an online kind of gift service where people can go on and order whatever kind of mac they want and get it shipped for gifts. But I think I'm going to stick with only one truck. It's enough work for just one.
For DNews, I'm Gian White.
Reading Terminal has lots of good eats, including one place where the cheesing is pleasing.
If you think you can't love cheese more than you already do, stop by Valley Shepherd Creamery in Reading Terminal Market and think again. I know it might sound cheesy, but this place will knock your socks off and leave your taste buds singing.
So our farm was started about 10 years ago. My boss bought a little property, a little farm in northern New Jersey, where he lives. Bought a couple of cows and a couple of sheep and started making pretty small amounts of cheese. And then a few years later, after he realized how much he loved it, he bought a slightly larger farm, about 120 acres, and bought some really great milking sheep from France.
5 years ago, the first Valley Shepherd store opened in Brooklyn. The Reading Terminal Cheesery was next in 2012. You may be surprised at their most popular cheese.
We make a really sharp aged cheddar. It's probably our single best seller. It's the most popular cheese in the world. And we do a Basque-style sheep's milk cheese called Old Wick Shepherd. And it's still pretty uncommon to see aged sheep's milk cheeses being made in the U.S.
Speaking of sheep, their grilled cheese sandwiches aren't bad.
Probably the best seller is it's called the Avenue D Classic. Avenue D is the lane that we're on here in the market. And it's just a blend of 3 of the cheeses that we do. But we make a sandwich called Valley Thunder, which is named for the sharp cheddar, and it has the sharp cheddar, macaroni and cheese, and brisket on the sandwich. That might be the best seller. That's the one that people come back for most often.
Incredible. And if you're looking for a lambskin, and who isn't, this is the place.
These are from the farm. We get them processed once a year.
The creamery also features Dolce de Leche, made with ingredients from a farm in Vermont. Just when I thought it couldn't get any better, they let me taste their homemade ice cream sandwiches. If you're in Center City, don't miss Valley Shepherd's Dairy Delights. For DNews, I'm Annette O'Malley.
Drexel's Mantua neighborhood is home, for now, to a local artist with a unique vision, but he may not be able to avoid the power of big business.
The Dupre Studio Museum is one of the most eccentric buildings in the community of Mantua, and the studio's owner, James Dupre, wants to keep it that way.
I went to art school for 9 years. I studied painting, drawing, printmaking, ceramics, and sculpture, fine arts, but I started out as an illustrator.
Nearly a decade ago, Mr. Dupre, a distinguished alumnus of the University of Pennsylvania, returned to the neighborhood of his youth to establish a new studio.
I fell in love with this building immediately. I bought it for a couple $100,000, a little less than that, but that was everything I had. I had to borrow a little money then to fix it up. And everything I had is invested into this property.
Dupre saw huge possibilities in Mantua, and before long, he was looking to expand.
About 7 years ago, I had contacted the city to actually purchase one of the lots next door. And I was then told this was an area for future development.
Dupre says the city offered money for his existing space and the chance to purchase another city-owned property.
I thought everything was taken care of and I was to move on. I thought 7 years ago that this was all resolved.
But there were problems with the developers of the relocated properties. So he wound up staying put.
5 years later, I get a letter that my deed has been seized by the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority. How do you seize a homeowner's free and clear deed if they're not 3 to 5 years in back taxes or the building is not condemnable? Well, how do they do that? Through the laws of eminent domain.
Mr. Dupre has since taken the issue to the courts in an effort to protect himself and others from having their homes demolished.
It was never about money. It's about this law taking my free and clear deed and then offering me what I know was 1/4 the amount that I think I could get if I put this on a free market. I was happy. I'm happy here.
We reached out to the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority, which offered this written statement. It is always the goal of the city and the Redevelopment Authority to use eminent domain as a last resort. However, there are still plans in place for the area that will include a supermarket. Dupre says the uncertainty has taken a toll.
As this law ruined your life, in my situation, ruined my health, ruined my marriage, ruined my bank account, ruined my day-to-day uncertainty. What's going to happen today? What's going to happen tomorrow? I'm living in hell. It's now on the front of the building for everybody to see.
To learn more about James Dupre, you can go to saveduprestudios.org or visit his studio at 36th and Haverford, open to the public every Thursday. For DNews, I'm John LaRussa.
A student group on campus is putting on some moves with a spiritual twist. Take a look at Flow Arts.
With its intriguing and mysterious name, this club started with a group of like-minded people.
We wanted a way where we can meet more people in the Flow Arts community and share skills with them, and we figured why not make a Drexel club out of it.
This club uses the term "go with the flow" in a completely different way.
Flow is a general term that has to do with a state of mind. Psychologists came up with the term about, 60 years ago.
They've incorporated the concept into a dance and movement collective with a spiritual twist.
It describes a state of mind in which your ability to concentrate is maximized and you achieve kind of a Zen-like state.
You don't think about eating, you don't think about sleeping, but flow is just something that encompasses everything you learn into a dance.
Flow Arts can also include props.
The flow activity is all about discovering yourself with a prop. I started hula hooping in August of 2012, so it's almost been 2 years. But I have recently started picking up poi and staff since the club started.
I did color card in high school, and so I figured I could spin things, why can't I spin a hula hoop?
Poi traditionally is a flexible rope with a handle on one end and a weight on the other. Through the circus arts and through the modern definition of flow arts, it's really expanded a lot to become a much more comprehensive set of skills.
But that's not all.
I've fire spun poi and staff, and I've also done some other wacky things like fire eating.
Some performers say Flow Arts has changed them significantly.
I was really shy before I started hooping. I never danced in public, I never sang in public, and hooping's really helped me break out of my shell and become more social and just not give a care what people think about me.
So definitely I think it helped me with my cognitive abilities and being able to get spatial awareness on both sides of me instead of just my dominant side.
And the confidence that it builds in you allows you to not worry about a social setting like that where people are watching you.
And they hope the good vibes keep flowing.
I hope that this club will continue doing what it's doing, but become more established.
In the future, we hope with the funding that the members will be able to take the flow arts and go to retreats and meet professional teachers and new people and learn new things out of that.
Be on the lookout for the Flow Arts Club performances in the future, or check out their Facebook page. For DNews, I'm Kathy White.
In the category of unusual jobs, how about this one? At the Academy of Natural Sciences at Drexel.
Michael Skorsky has one of the hardest jobs in town.
My official title is Butterfly Coordinator, and my job here at the museum is to educate the public about butterfly biology and behavior.
Here, at the butterfly exhibit, Skorsky keeps busy and warm. He wears shorts and sandals on the job, even on the coldest days.
Humidity is high, we keep it about 80%. The heat, again, it's a little cool in there for my liking. We normally average about 85 degrees. Right now it's averaging 82 to 83 because of the temperature outside.
Inside, the prize butterflies like it hot.
If it's a little bit warmer, they're going to be more active. Their activity levels based on the heat, the amount of visitors that are coming through, the species of butterflies we have. So the hotter it is, the better it is for visitors. As they come in, they're a little bit more active.
Butterflies typically have a very short lifespan. Many live for just a few weeks. Outside of the academy, the exotic, beautiful collections in here can only be found in tropical climates.
All the butterflies that are here are not found in Philadelphia. Depending on where you live in the United States, you might see one or two species if you're really looking for them. But the butterflies that are here are specifically raised for export on butterfly farms in Central and South America, Southeast Asia, and Africa. So you'll never see any of these butterflies in Philadelphia unless you're here.
Michael treasures his job with these delicate creatures. He's been around them now for almost 20 years.
I just love nature, and so I started volunteering here because I had some extra time. Was asked to become a part-time manager about 1.5 to 2 years into my volunteering. And then when the full-time manager left, my experience went out, and that's how I got the job as full-time butterfly exhibit manager.
To catch a glimpse of the butterflies and the warmest sky in Philly, you can visit the Academy from 10 to 4:30 on Mondays through Fridays, and 10 to 5 on weekends. For DNews, I'm Shuang Lin.
And finally, it was a night of valuable insight when the CEO of the agency group came to campus.
Natalia Nasteskin had a revelation at age 9. Soon after, her family moved to the U.S. from Soviet Russia.
When we got here, my cousin, who's 4 years older than me, she turned on the television one day, and I see this creature that is in leopard print pants, black silk shirt opened up to his navel, and his hair like out to here, teased up, like beautifully blonde and black roots, and it was Rod Stewart, and I was like, what is this? And this must find its way into my future, or I must find my way into whatever this is, because this is pretty extraordinary versus what I was used to. I was like, Mom, Dad, this is what I want to do. And they were like, no way, like never, no way, this is not happening.
But it did happen in a big way. She decided being just a lawyer was not enough. So she got into the music business and worked her way up.
The live touring business is going up, and it's really far more exciting for somebody like me that's just a huge music fan. At the very least, I can go to shows every night. Like, you know, if the thing doesn't work out, at least I could see live music every day, every night.
Natalia says she didn't have the traditional skills of a deal maker when she began.
I should note that in addition to not really being an experienced lawyer when I was starting out, I was also painfully shy. Those two things together, not a great mix to be able to build a network, but you kind of get over yourself.
She got over herself by constantly reaching out and attending all the events related to her business.
So I would sit and I would network, and I would get there early for cocktail hour, and I would talk to anybody that I could talk to. And some people were not applicable to my business. You know, they didn't have any of the same, you know, complementary things that they were working on. But more often than not, you wound up walking away with 3 or 4 business cards that then you follow up and, you know, come over for a coffee or for, you know, just an in-office informational meeting, and that's how I did it.
Now, she manages the careers of the Black Keys, Rush, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, and more. The high-powered CEO loves her music and has very eclectic taste.
I'm listening to Banks, I'm listening to Ghost Beach, to Arctic Monkeys, to Astor, to Guns N' Roses all the time, because that's my favorite.
Natalia has been running the agency group for almost a year and looks forward to doing it for many more years. For DNews, I'm Gizem Yalın.
That's a wrap for this episode of DNews. I'm John LaRussa. See you in 2015.
The production of DNews has been made possible with the generous support of the Cal and Lucille Redman Institute for Entertainment Industry Studies, the Office of University Communications, and the Antoinette Westfall College of Media Arts and Design.